Welcome to Checking In at SEA. My name is Perry Cooper. We are underneath the airport, actually underneath the garage and the concourses in what we call our boiler room. And we're here to talk about the environment. That's right. How's that work? We're going to bring in Stephanie Mine, who is our Climate Program Manager for our Environmental Division. Why are we in the boiler room today, Stephanie?
Well, it's not a traditional place where the environment team hangs out, but what we're really excited about is this week we're beginning to flow renewable natural gas into these boilers. So it's a very exciting announcement for us. And what you can see in this kind of room is that these are 50-year-old boilers with a limited ceiling height, a limited amount of room. So we can't really completely switch out the systems. And so what we really needed to do was find a way that we could use a drop-in renewable substitute for the fossil natural gas. And that's what we've done.
So that's great ideas in trying to figure out what are ways in which we can reduce our emissions. Where does this come from?
So renewable natural gas is basically, it comes from decomposition, anaerobic digestion, that sort of thing. And the gas that we're contracting for is coming from a landfill. So when you throw out your traditional garbage, it goes into a landfill, and as it decomposes, it emits methane and CO2. And methane is natural gas, is what we use. And so traditionally, landfills have either just flared off that gas or turned it into electricity. But you can also clean up that gas to a pipeline standard, inject it into the pipeline, and then deliver it to a facility like ours. And we'll be the first airport in the country to be doing that.
And we're getting this from out of state, correct? So why do we have to pull this from out of state and not use local sources?
Well, it's pretty challenging, right? There are sources, there are landfills and dairy farms that are producing this gas in state. But the incentives in California, because of their low carbon fuel standard, mean that they're getting a lot better money for that out of state. And so we've had to find sources to bring in as a substitute for that. So it's another reason why the Commission has really made it their number one legislative priority to also get a low carbon fuel standard here in Washington State.
And the other big piece for our standpoint, from the Port of Seattle standpoint, is this is going to help us achieve our emission goals 10 years early.
Yeah, that's a really exciting thing. These boilers are about 75% of the port's carbon footprint. So by switching out to renewable natural gas, we can hit our 10-year 50% reduction goal 10 years early.
That's fantastic. And we think about environment all the time. Stephanie's thinking about that. An entire team is thinking about that. Let's go out on the airfield and we'll show you some things that are going on there about it. Out on the airfield, this is a great example of a beautiful day we have out here in Mount Rainier in the background. But what we're paying attention to actually is some of the environmental programs that we have out here on the airfield. This one in particular is our electric ground service equipment project. Can you tell us what we're doing with this?
Sure. So we were just in the boiler room where we were reducing the emissions that the port owns and controls. But what we also like to do as part of our programs is really help our other partners, like our airlines that are over here, reduce their emissions. And so we started this program of the electric ground support equipment infrastructure back in 2014 with the vision to get the entire airport electrified. But as you can see, we've also had a lot of construction that has interfered a little bit with our timeline, but we're really excited that the Port of Seattle Commission just approved the funding so we could complete this full infrastructure project. And what that means is that all of the airlines here on the south side of the terminal can now get all of this equipment, this charging equipment, at their gates. So that means that all of the airlines you see, all the international airlines, they'll now have this electric ground support equipment charging infrastructure.
And when we're talking about ground support equipment, we're talking about baggage tugs, we're talking about the tow bars, the tow trucks that are going out, anything that we can get the airlines to come up, set up here, plug in and charge overnight. That's a reduction of diesel fuel that's having emissions, correct?
That's right. And so when we were just in the boiler room, when I was talking about meeting our 10% goal, the amount of emissions we're reducing from that project is about 10,000 tons. The entirety of the airport, when we have all of these ground support equipment reduced or changed over to electric, the reduction will be about the same. It's about 10,000 tons of emissions. So we're trying to do it across the airport. Everywhere we can find an opportunity to reduce traditional fossil fuel emissions, save money, this is the kind of solution we look for.
And it's great payback not only for us and the community with their emissions, but also for the airlines and saving money as well too. I appreciate it. So thanks everybody for checking in. You've learned a lot about the environment today here at SEA. Check in with us for more videos in the future.